opportunity is that now the children of those households become the best ambassadors of healthy eating and the best ambassadors of understanding, we have to pay attention to what we're buying at the supermarket. We have to pay attention to what foods we're consuming. So that's just one illustration of a creative way of leveraging the interest of kids, and kids need to make it fun. So another recommendation I would offer for making your summer food programs a success is try to make it fun. When you talk about food and you talk about farming, kids get excited, people get excited, but then when you start talking about nutrition, for some reason, just, all the passionate excitement, dies down, like, oh, I have to eat my broccoli because it's healthy for me, so you have to make it fun. And it's clear that if you have a summer site and you pair it with a physical activity, it's much different. So, it's incredibly hot here over the summer. It's brutal. But, we were talking again, using my friends in Winslow as an example, they were talking about how they had a summer food site close in proximity to a pool that offers swimming classes, that type of thing. So figure out when you're, determining a location for a site or a new site, is there a Boys and Girls Club in the area? Is there a YMCA? Is there a church, that can have some AC? But think about those things, and I think you'll really see a difference. Yes, Karen.
I just wanted to raise the awareness of an option and something that's unique right now is we have a lot of seniors in Arizona that are suddenly the inheritors of their grandchildren and their children as well. And the CSFP program in Arizona serves only 9% of the seniors. And it is an option to serve seniors who do not participate in food stamps, who are still in their homes.
Yeah.
And in the past, it's been slated for elimination because it was thought it's more cost-effective to go from commodity food distribution into the grocery store. But I'd like to raise awareness, and your awareness, that it's a very, very good program. It's very strong here. It serves people in the rural areas that are still in their homes, that are cooking their foods. And if we could expand the program, it would really have an impact on childhood hunger. It would really help those families.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. I am aware, and the irony is that a lot of seniors participate in the CACF program. Many that do so because they feel that if they participate in SNAP, somehow they're taking a handout. That it's not okay to take government help because they don't realize that the help is available to them. But somehow with the CACF program, they feel comfortable in getting their help. One state that I think really is in a very simple fashion, but doing something very creatively in light of that issue is Alabama. And what Alabama did, I thought this was really genius. It's so simple. What they did is they created this new effort, this new program. They just relabeled SNAP. It was SNAP, but they just called it something else. A little sneaky, I know. But, it's, again, because of that stigma, because of the connotation. And then they said, let's try something new. Instead of us, knocking on doors and distributing another flyer and talking about how seniors need to enroll in SNAP, why don't we try a program where seniors engage other seniors? And so what they built was very simple, like a word-of-mouth referral. They anticipated maybe an additional 200 or 250 applications a month. Well, within a couple weeks, they were receiving that amount of applications per week. And it was all because, when you're talking to someone who really understands what you're going through, when you're talking to a friend, when you're talking to someone that you can trust, it's very different. It's very different when, your neighbor or your friend tells you, well, I signed up for this, it's helping, it's making a difference. Once people found out that it was essentially SNAP, it didn't really matter because, I've heard so many stories about seniors who are scared even to drive to the parking lot because what if someone sees them? I don't want anyone to know. There's all this shame associated. But when people started realizing how many of their own friends and neighbors were participating in the program, it became a moot issue. It didn't cost anything for Alabama to do that. It didn't cost anything for, those organizations that were working more closely with seniors to just try it. They had nothing to lose. They thought they gave it a try. I don't know if that's the specific answer here. Communities, and everyone in this room knows this, when you do community work, you can't cookie cutter it. You really have to figure out what the needs are of your particular community. But again, it's one way of looking at, with a fresh perspective, how to better engage seniors. And goodness knows they're hurting so much. Yes, the gentleman over there?
Hi. You mentioned earlier in your statement that one of the target groups were the immigrants, primarily Hispanics. What is the government doing, either state or national level, to provide or ensure more security or safety to these families when they go to apply for this assistance? Because I happen to know a few families who, out of fear, would never go close to an agency for fear of having ICE come down to their door the next day or something like that.
Yes, thank you for asking that question. Such an important question for Arizona. Couple things. Let me talk about what our national office is doing and this administration. Our Undersecretary Kevin Kincannon sent a letter to all commissioners, and in the past few months we've been working very hard with the Department of Homeland Security, the Citizenship and Immigration Service, and that's actually the federal agency that issues public charge. I think that if you just go to the DHS website, you should be able to find that information. They have a fact sheet that was issued in October of last year, and the public charge doctrine is basically a set of laws and policy that says eligible immigrants, it's not just for food stamps, it's not just for SNAP, it's for all public benefits. But basically, it generally, in summary, it generally says that eligible immigrants are not in jeopardy of losing their immigration status if they participate in particular public benefit programs. So that, for instance, SNAP or TANF, Medicaid, SSI. What we have been doing, multiple things. We're working with DHS to look at not only outreach strategies but also outreach materials. SNAP FNS has a citizenship and immigration handbook that we are currently updating and providing better policy guidance, better explanations, and we have also we have a new director. The USDA has a Center for Neighborhood and Faith-Based Partnerships. His name is Max Finberg, and I'm sure he'll be here at some time this year. But Max and I were just sitting around a work table one day. This was after the ERS Food Insecurity Report came out. And when we looked at the geographic span of all the households nationally that were facing food insecurity issues, we also quickly noted that there was a strong similarity between the greatest concentration of food insecure households nationwide and also the concentration of food insecure households for Hispanics. And we began a nationwide tour of roundtables visiting, and the states are New York, California, Florida, Texas, Arizona, and Illinois. And we've been holding roundtable discussions with stakeholders, like folks like yourselves in this room, and also with our local elected officials, with our state partners, just talking about what the barriers are, but most importantly, what the solutions are. And someone earlier today talked about it's a time for action, and I'm proud to be part of a leadership and administration that couldn't believe that. We believe that so fervently. So we're looking structurally by actually listening and gauging from different communities, because two communities are alike, but at the same time we're starting to see patterns. In terms of immigration, DES has been working hard they've issued a new script sort of talking about, with personnel in the office, how they can better have that conversation so that when people come in, and Veronica, jump in anytime here if I'm misrepresenting, but how to actually ask for citizenship, because SNAP is a program that requires legal permanent residency for 5 years or U.S. citizenship. But for instance, and this is only one of the many dilemmas, is that you have a lot of eligible children that could be on the program and undocumented parents that are too afraid to approach an office or give them information because there's such an inherent distrust of government. So, we have we've formed a partnership, and I don't know if Pastor Tim is here today, but a good example of that partnership is the Rio Vista Center in South Phoenix. And DES is working with Pastor Tim to find and encourage those Latino immigrants